Hello and welcome to this tutorial where I want to draw and paint a gnome who is sitting on a mushroom. And I found this particular print on Pinterest, and it inspired me to do my own interpretation of this lovely little gnome. And I must say the mushroom is great, but I'm tilting the hood a little bit, and the whole setup I am doing with a graphite pencil. And that's smart to do because once you start drawing instantly with the fine liner, you cannot you cannot correct it anymore. So that's why I'm first drawing a first impression with my graphite pencil. And here you can see the little hand, which will be holding a flower. And on his head there's a big hood, and the big hood is covering his eyes. You can see the wrinkles in the fabric, so I think that's really nice. Here is his little arm, and I'm just sketching by eyeballing the inspiration print that I found on Pinterest. The hood is quite high, all the way here on top. And you can see it is heavy because the tip of the hood is dangling forward. And here is his bottom, and then here on the left side we can just see the sleeve and the hand. Now the flower that he's holding in the inspiration print is straight up, but I want also to give that a little bit of a tilt so that the drawing is a little bit more dynamic. I love the petals, so I'm keeping those in, but I'm make them a little bit more how do you call it? A little bit more fragile. And here you can see that I'm now starting to go over my own drawing with a fine liner. Now what is nice about this fine liner is that it is water resistant. And that's great because I want to hit this drawing with my watercolor. And so there will be a lot of water involved. And it is a good idea to first test out your fine liner, so to make sure that this is really water resistant, because otherwise once you start hitting it with the watercolors, then your fine liner lines will disappear. Once you've covered all of your drawing with the fine liner, then it's time to hit it with the watercolor. I first start with the darkest values. So I am combining some gray and some green together, and I'm using Pines Gray and a lighter and a darker green. As you can see, all the way down the bottom, I've drawn in a lot of grass, a lot more than in the reference print. And I want to make it like he's in a forest or something. So a lot of green. Now this is the hood of the mushroom that he is sitting on. And what I did is I imagine a light source which is coming from the right. So in that way I want to make the hood of the mushroom dark on the left side, and as I head on to the right side I make the red slowly but certainly lighter. It is very, very smart to always keep in mind a light source so that you can play around with the shadows. For instance, here under the skirt of the mushroom there is shadow, and in front of his belly there's a lot of shadow. So here I am applying the darker colors. He has a brown sweater and he has a big pinkish nose. I cover the nose in pink, but I make sure to leave a little bit of white so that the nose appears to be a little bit shiny. There's a darker value on the lower part of the nose. And now that the dark greens have dried up, I can hit the hood with light green. And for the background, I chose to put in a little bit of flowers. Some red values and maybe some yellows, just to get a little bit of color going on. Otherwise it will be very greenish, and I want it to be colorful. The flower that he's holding I chose to be blue because the sky is blue, but I do not want to put in any sky, so I chose to color the flower in his hand blue. Here underneath the tip of the hood, which is dangling down, I place a lot of shadow because my light source is coming from the right. All the way down on the bottom, I apply an extra layer of Pines Gray because the light is coming from the right top. I want to make sure that the left side and the bottom part is really covered in shadows. Also underneath his moustache there should be a lot of shadow so that the moustache pops out, and also his very big nose. I also apply a little bit of red in the foreground. In that way the foreground tends to push its way forward, and that's nice for my composition. And here is his little left hand, and he is wearing a brownish sweater and blue trousers. Here for the shadow underneath the tip of the hood, I also apply a little bit of red to get some extra shadow going. Red and green are very nice to combine, and they work nicely together. And to top everything off, I want to add a little bit of shadow for the little flakes that are on top of our red mushroom. In that way they seem to lay on top of the hood of the mushroom, and it just gives it like a little bit more extra dimension. So this is my try, and I hope you will try it too. Should you want to see the complete version of this particular watercolor drawing, then you can find me on my Patreon page. along with more than 100 other tutorials in real time. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you again soon in another tutorial.